at the J. Vibe blowing at the J. Got the loud jumping at the bay. Everything I'm on slap. Everything I do is got the band jumping at the bay. Vibe blowing at my J. Got the loud jumping at the bay. Everything I'm on slap. Everything I do is got the band jumping out the bag. Another milestone, look at that. Paper boy, I'm a paper route till I'm 6 down on my back. I'm an old soul like my dad. My old girl's still a fan. Yo girl at the live show, so don't act like I ain't the man. I'm kicking my feet up, get frank like Aretha. I'm calm, but I'm teed up, just flip me a stack. The re-up just doubled up off of the muscle, I stuck to the task. They see me, I'm troubled, I'm bubbling up till it's stuck, and they want me to stay where I'm at. I'm good everywhere that I'm stepping, my presence is crucial. You know that this shit not no trend. On a big wave, I'm controlling the tide. Snake eyes when you rolling the dice. So with the stakes inside, I can never take another nigga's advice. They can't reach the sky, I'm aiming up high. I just wanna know what it's like. Y'all know what it's like, I come from outside of this. Out the quicksand, I'm the big man, doing big things. Cop a big change, up a state lines, doing stage dives on cam. Get my good side. It ain't no limit to my vision. Check the temp, I'm on fire with it. Got the band jumping out the bag, Prosecco on ice. I'm nobody nice. Gonna run up a check, demand my respect. I'm doing the most, I never quit. They want me to quit. I'm good as it come, I'm good as it gets. Vibe blowing at the J, got the loud jumping out the bag. Everything I'm on slap. Everything I do is got the band jumping out the bag. Vibe blowing at my J, got the loud jumping out the bag. Everything I'm on slap. Everything I do is got the band jumping out the bag. Vibe blowing at the J. Everything I'm on slap. She might be what I need. She get spicy, wanna taste this, come bite me. Yeah, I'm icy, way too icy. I get paper, on big screen, I'm spiky. I'm vibing, vibing, too wavy. I could tell they wanna get like me. Timid straight shooter, I'm dumping the clip that I'm dipping. Hitting the mark with the weightiest art. I rage with my heart and it's right with my wrists. Cut up the pay with the real ones. I see a few million, we want it, we need it, let's get it. Long live the niggas that get it and live how they say it. A sentence, we really the trillest. Please don't pretend with that love that you send it is fuck if you like me, I call me the villain. Somebody tell God forgive me, I'm sinning. I think that she know, but he got me, I'm winning. Clout is a dangerous drug and your phone is the plug. Everybody on that shit pretending. So many lost and they chasing what's trending. Boy, yeah, let's forget it, I'm back to my senses. I'm only helping a man in the mirror. From here on I'm open, I'm focused. Okay, I lied, if you riding, I'm riding. I put on the folks and trust in me. Get with it, come fuck with me. I don't, but it's love, you stuck with me. I'm coming and clutch for me. Get with it, they get lost, ain't nobody touching me, yeah. She like me, she might be what I need. She get spicy, wanna taste this, come bite me. Yeah, I'm icy, way too icy. I get paper, on big screen, I'm spiky. vibey, just vibey. Too wavy, and she and they won't get like me. I'm vibey, just vibey. Too wavy, come and get like me. She like me, she might be what I need. Too icy, way too icy. I get paid, my big screen, my sprightly. I'm vibey, just vibey. Too wavy, I could tell they wanna get like me. I'm vibey, just vibey. Too wavy, come and get like me.
Before you tell me that I've changed a lot, take a minute to consider a lot has changed me.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking, all right? So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, the visual presentation looks bad, the audio is bad, please give me a thumbs down. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody in the building early. We got DSB in the house. Shout out to you, DSB. We got Patricia Slade in the building. We got Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to you, Brooklyn Queen. We got Win Loser Rug. Good to see you, bro. We got my man Jerry Bedford in the building. Shout out to Carlton Way. And we got my man Kirk Allen in the house. All right, shout out to y'all. It is good to see y'all. It's late. People getting lit today, and y'all are here. That's what's good, man. Shout out to y'all, all right? So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about a couple things because I'm going to try to do another episode of Undocumented tomorrow. But the problem is that this episode of Undocumented that I want to do tomorrow is there's only one piece of content on it, and it's probably going to take up the entire stream. And it's going to be a long stream because we're going to be watching a press conference, all right? So I want to try to get some of these articles out of the way, all right? Because there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's not a lot of people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So let's actually get into it. Last time we talked about the northern border, do you guys remember what happened? There was a vehicle that drove up and miraculously flew out of the clear blue sky like a stunticon and then just blew up in the middle of the air. Do you guys remember that? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't remember that, give me a thumbs down. If you don't remember that and you need to refresh, if you go to BLR1, there's a stream with Kathy Hochul's face on it. That is the stream where we talk about the stunticon that blew up at the northern border because the northern border has been lit. Also, we got a particular segment of immigrant population coming in through the northern border. All right. If you guys know who those people are that are coming in through the northern border, please leave it in the comment section. All right. We're going to take a look at this video right here from CBS Boston.
Tonight in our Question Everything, we take a look at the migrant crisis at the border, but we're not talking about the southern border. We're talking about the border in our own backyard. The number of people crossing from Canada into New England is rising rapidly.
And just today, the state of New Hampshire voted to invest another $132,000 in that battle. And we wanted to know, why is it?
Now, let me ask you guys this question. Why are people coming in through the northern border? What's going on at the northern border? The northern border is not really getting a lot of coverage. Honestly, that might be one of the reasons why people are choosing the northern border as their entry place. Might be one of the reasons why they're choosing the northern border as their entry place. We don't know. But as usual, we're going to investigate. And here goes my question, to be honest. Anybody that's ever been to Canada, at least, you know, to the eastern part of Canada, like Ontario, why would you, unless you're coming from a different country with the end goal of getting into the United States, why would you want to leave Canada to come to the United States? Canada ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I could get down in Canada. I've never been to like the West Coast, you know what I'm saying, or the west side of Canada, like the French speaking part. But as far as like Ontario goes, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like where I stay at, we border Ontario. I ain't mad at Ontario. You know what I'm saying? Like Ontario, cool. honestly, it's not really very different in some parts of of Ontario from, you know what I'm saying, like the regular Midwest steel belt vibe. You know what I mean? So I don't really know why you would leave Canada to come to the United States, but you know, it is what it is. Shout out to my man Crew Reality. What's good with it, bro? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys were trying to come illegally into the United States, would you leave Canada and come to the United States? Listen, man, I'd be kicking it in Toronto. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'd be kicking it in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? But who knows?
This is happening, and what does it mean for New England? WBC's Louisa Mueller went to the northern border to find out.
It was lights and speed for Border Patrol agents headed to the line between Vermont and Canada.
Hey, partner, there's a white van that just came down this way, and he's heading back up. It looks like he's heading towards 114.
We saw agents arresting a Lithuanian national, the man detected by a sensor in the woods.
Now, see, this individual right here that they're detaining is a Lithuanian national, right? If you guys have watched some of the videos on the Undocumented Bros series on BLR 1 and 2 and the Undocumented Bros channel, which I haven't put any content up on that yet, but it's coming, you will notice that there's a large amount of Eastern European criminals that come from the northern border into the United States, which interestingly, they're never depicted in any of the content that the mainstream media does about the migrant crisis. Have you guys noticed that? If you guys have noticed that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't noticed that, then give me a thumbs down.
One agent took a picture of his shoe, a piece of evidence that could prove he illegally crossed the border.
It was a flood we had not seen before. It was an exponential shift, something we were not expecting, and it just it hit us hard.
This is the new reality for agents in the Swanton sector.
Shout out to DSB. DSB on Blade Time tonight without drinking blood. You don't like liver? You ever had liver? You know what I'm saying? You don't like liver? You know what I'm saying? Liver ain't bad. Liver and onions. You know what I'm saying?
295 miles of tough and varying border terrain across 5 northeastern counties of New York, all of Vermont, and New Hampshire. Where once it was more common to see deer than people, now Eric Lavalley, the agent in charge of Swanton's Beecher Falls station, says the border is seeing record illegal crossings.
Oh, and real quick, shout out to DeAndre. I don't know if DeAndre is in here. He might be in here later. DeAndre put this into the Discord. I want to make sure that I give credit to the person that supplied the content. I almost forgot. I want to make sure that I give credit. Shout out to my man DeAndre. Make sure y'all throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat for DeAndre for putting this in the Discord. And also make sure that you guys are a part of the Discord by hitting the link that's pinned into the chat. And also make sure you guys follow Undocumented on Twitter. The bots will put the links into the chat so that you never miss a notification. And also the Discord gives more reliable notifications than YouTube or anything else. So it's extremely important. If you're not a part of the Discord, if you don't follow anything else, make sure that you join the Discord.
1,000 people arrested in fiscal year 2023, more than the previous 12 years combined.
I have never seen anything like it.
They have come from 66 different countries: India, Bangladesh, Haiti, Venezuela, with approximately 49% coming from Mexico.
Most of the people that we are encountering are single adults.
Single adults, mostly men?
Mostly men.
And Eric says most of the—
So how many people saw that video clip that TD posted today? If you guys saw that video clip that TD Media Group posted today, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't see the video clip that TD Media Group posted today, then give me a thumbs down. The reason why I ask is because this clip right here is further validation backing that clip that TD Media posted, showing that the majority of migrants that people are seeing entering the country are military-age males. Now, my question for everybody watching this is, why is the mainstream media not discussing that? And why are they showing this as it's some type of quote unquote family crisis? I ain't mad at it, win, lose, or rug. You know how you know how it go. You know what I'm saying? You know how it go. You gotta deal with things by the situation. You know what I'm saying? When you got the lady in front of you, you know what I'm saying? You got to deal with the lady. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Mexico.
Most of the people that we are encountering are single adults.
Single adults, mostly men?
Mostly men.
And Eric says most of the people who come are involved in smuggling. This video shows attempted human smuggling in New York last year, stopped by Border Patrol.
Are the drug cartels behind this?
Some may be, some might not be.
Last fiscal year, Border Patrol apprehended 564 people on the terror watch list. Of them, 484 were encountered on the northern border. The questions are, why here? Why now? Eric says one of the reasons is Canadian foreign policy. Up until a few weeks ago, Canada did not require Mexicans and some other foreign nationals to have travel visas to fly to the country.
For a very minimal fee.
So for the most part, do you guys see this right here? What's going on is that it seems like Canada, for the most part, has very laxed border policies, right? So what it is, for the most part, is that you either get to Mexico or you get to Canada, these places that are a lot less challenging. And believe it or not, as laxed as our border policy has become, it's difficult to get into the United States. It's difficult to cross the United States border, more difficult than it is to cross into Mexico or Canada, which is, I mean, those borders may as well just be wide open. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
They would be able to enter the country as a tourist. Some folks utilizing the ETA program were being arrested here in the United States for illegal entry within 24 hours of their landing in Canada.
Can you send them back to Canada?
Unfortunately, no.
Why they're coming may differ too.
They're trying to find that vulnerability and come into the United States without detection.
This stream is the border between the U.S. and Canada. Now, obviously, the water is very high right now, but it shows another challenge facing Border Patrol. There are times when the water is ankle depth, easily wadable for anyone looking to cross it.
Border Patrol covered a vast expanse with unattended grounds.
So now, I mean, do you guys see this? This is like just basically in the middle of a rural area. Right? Would you guys agree? This, for the most part, just looks like just a, part of a rural area. So if all there is just a small, like, little creek that you got to get past, who's not going to go past that? I mean, that's pretty easy to cross. Anybody could cross that. You don't need any kind of special skills or any kind of special equipment to get over that.
Sensors, drones, patrols. They also rely on calls from locals.
Whether or not we see absolutely everything, I can't know what I don't know. We're going to go ahead and get their biometrics. We're going to get their fingerprints. We're going to get the iris scans.
Once they have migrants in their custody, they'll run a background check, then transport some to U.S. Enforcement and Removal Operations, or ERO. In fiscal year 2023, the ERO Office for New England detained 1,500 individuals, roughly, and removed 600 from the country. That includes people who entered through both borders.
Somebody can drive in, pick up, and then depart the area.
The journey from mountains to snow-covered roads may not always end in a Border Patrol sally port, but it is
right, exactly. You can't fall off a creek. You can't fall off of it. You can fall in that bad boy, but then you just get back up and keep walking.
But with danger.
Last fiscal year, Swanton sector had 10 individuals that we know that died while attempting to enter the United States illegally. They included drownings, hypothermia.
Now, how you drown in there? How you drown in there if the water is ankle level? Is ankle level. How you drown in there? Come on, man. They're going to come over here and make the United States a stronger country, but you drowning in an ankle level creek.
And the job for agents is also growing increasingly risky.
We have seen some of the smugglers, when they're attempting to run ramming Border Patrol vehicles, it may just be a matter of time before we do face some serious repercussions and serious issues.
Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
Wow. All right, so there's that. All right. Not really being talked about. The northern border, for some reason, has fallen out of the public eye. Why it has is beyond me. But we're going to definitely talk about it over here. You know what I'm saying? So how many people have seen what AOC's block is looking like lately? You know what I'm saying? AOC's district neighborhood has been labeled as a third world country as migrants clog the streets and prostitutes overrun every block, which, as long as everything is legal and adult, that part might not really be that bad of a thing. But as far as the junkiness and all that, ain't nobody trying to deal with none of that. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at this video here. Let's take a look at this video here, shall we? Now let me ask you guys this question. How many of you all would like to live in an area where all of this nonsense is going on? If this looks like some good real estate for you, give me a thumbs up. If this is not something that you want to see when you walk outside, or if you're walking to work, or if you're walking around or taking a jog, then give me a thumbs down. This right here, this looks like outdoor hoarding, doesn't it? How many people have ever seen how hoarders get down? If you've ever seen how hoarders get down, give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't, give me a thumbs down. This right here looks like outdoor hoarding. I mean, this looks like one of those like ratchet local carnivals, literally citywide and all day long, minus the funnel cakes. You know what I'm saying? Minus the, you know what I'm saying? The sausage sandwiches and all that stuff. I don't like the fact that this little baby is literally right on the curb next to a car. And this is, and mind you, this is in New York City. If that was my young child there unattended on the curb in New York City, I would literally be having a unholy conniption. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but this literally looks like Skid Row. This looks really bad. Now, if you're a business owner, or if you're somebody that's looking to invest in that area, are you going to want to present that kind of appearance to your customers? Yeah, look, shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. It's like a swap meet. That looks like a literal swap meet. Right. And great observation. How many how many Africans do y'all see out here? Now, it might be one or two hiding somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But how many do y'all? I don't see any. I haven't seen any yet. Shout out to Jay Bird. What's good with it, bro? You hear that music that they playing? Let me ask y'all this question. I need y'all to answer in the comment section. Is that African music that's playing in the background there? So I think we got the hint. You know what I'm saying? There's no narration on there. You know what I'm saying? They just show basically like a walkthrough. All right. So now here it says an area in squad member Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's district is being described as looking more like a third world country opposed to a thriving American neighborhood, as desperate migrants block up sidewalks selling food and shilling clothing items, while prostitutes openly solicit sex from passerbys, reportedly including teens. Now, see, that's where you run into the problem at. If it's adults, you know what I'm saying, you know, whatever. But children, teens, no. Can't have that. You know what I'm saying? The neighborhoods of Corona, which I don't know if anybody knows, but that's like a heavily Puerto Rican area in Queens, Jackson Heights and Elmhurst, a once vibrant community in northwestern Queens, has now essentially deteriorated into a large flea market with trash overcrowding on street corners, leading to unsavory and unhygienic conditions, as video obtained by Fox News Digital shows, which is very interesting. They're talking about unhygienic, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the neighborhood's main strip along Roosevelt Avenue has become so renowned for its prostitution that locals have nicknamed the area the Market of Sweethearts. And viral online videos advise prospective Johns on how to make use of sex worker services there. I want to go there and see who's actually complaining about that. let me ask you guys a question. When it comes to like the middle-aged and older men in the area, how many of the middle-aged and older men in the area do you think are actually complaining about that? You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, like, when it comes to prioritization of complaints, that's probably like way at the bottom. They probably like, yeah, we got all this trash on the streets. What do you think about the prostitutes? Yeah, we got all this trash on the streets. Oh man, that's hilarious. So now here it says, in exclusive Fox Digital photos, sex workers were seen on Wednesday standing outside storefronts soliciting men. Residents say the prostitutes usually take their clients into makeshift brothels for sex. The alleged sex workers operate during all hours of the day, even as families walk by with their children in strollers, and often hang out in front of area supermarkets. Prostitution is against the law in New York, which is hilarious because if you go and look and see how many New York police department police officers engage in prostitution, they probably make up the majority of the market share for the people that buy the prostitutes. They can stretch that dollar further. Facts. You know what I'm saying? In New York City, getting a little quote unquote bite to eat before you get home takes on a whole new meaning. You know what I'm saying? So in a video obtained by Fox News Digital, one local resident, Ramsey Frias, which he clearly, whatever, takes a short walk along two streets in the neighborhood, shedding light on conditions there. And I'm not trying to be funny, but you can probably barely understand him when he talks, which is probably why he didn't say anything in the video. The video shows almost endless streams of vendors with piles of clothes stacked along the streets, while others sell sneakers, pots and pans, and toys and photo frames. Now, this is what's hilarious, right? I don't know how many people know who Gothix is. She's a YouTuber. She's black, and she hates black people. Oh, man, if she could give herself a daily bleach treatment and repipe the plumbing in her house to run Clorox out of her shower, oh, man, she would do it in a heartbeat. You still have black conservative content creators making white-inspired videos about the way that black people talk, and these people literally cannot speak English, yet no videos about them. Shout out to my man TD Media Group. What's good with it, bro? Black conservatives still have a fit that black people say ain't, which actually is a word that came from white Southern dialect. But they literally say nothing about these individuals actually not being able to speak English and requiring an interpreter. I don't know if anybody's aware, But there's places in the United States where the accent is so thick and also mixed with foreign languages of a Native American vernacular that subtitles are required on the TV shows. Anything in Louisiana, deep swamp Louisiana, where you can't understand it anyway because the Southern accent is so damn thick. And then on top of it, it's in Louisiana, so some of it is mixed with French. Yeah, that's damn near like a different language. If you ever meet a white person from Louisiana that can cook gumbo like Gambit on X-Men, I guarantee you'll have to ask them to repeat themselves multiple times. And not because of any type of IQ gap or anything like these type of people say about us, simply because of regional dialects. But this is what happens when you live in a country where the majority of the population is so stupid that they selectively pick out the type of history that makes them feel good, that they don't accept the entire history. Yeah, like Bobby Boucher. That's a great, exactly. Like, that's actually how they talk. If you ever watch any of them TV shows with the people from Louisiana, man, you can barely understand them. And that's because a lot of the stuff that they say is actually French. But you'd have to be an American that's not living in a selective history reality in order to understand that. Like how many conservatives are. Black ones included. Black ones especially. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says at the end of the clip, 3 people can be seen sitting in the trunk of a car. The trio has a stall up, encroaching onto a pedestrian crossing, and their used boxes block the path of walkers crossing the road. Only licensed vendors are permitted to sell food or goods in public spaces in New York. So now here's my question. If that's the case, then how do they just have all of these illegal sale places set up? Shout out to Pamela X. What's good with it, Pamela? How did they just have all these illegal sales? If this is illegal, then literally how is the entire neighborhood set up with all this and there's no spot drug busts or, no spot busts or no raids or anything like that? No random NYPD just pulling up, knocking all this stuff down, saying, all right, y'all got to go. That's because the NYPD, when they pull up, they're busy being occupied by them sex workers. And I'm not talking about arresting. Handcuffs are being involved, but no Miranda rights are being read. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why crime is up too. Now they got all this rampant prostitution, and we all know how the police get down with hookers. Their actual time on the beat has probably been reduced, and the time at the brothels has probably increased if we do a study. And since we're the study expert people who anytime we need something, a study needs to be required, we should start studying hours on the clock of police degeneracy in New York City and see the effects that the migrant crisis has had on it, because I'm sure it's had a huge impact. It's just not being studied. Because if you don't study these things, well, then how will anybody ever know if they're true or false? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, like most of my like-minded residents, we see this as a third world market. Frias, who is 43, told Fox News Digital. Basically, you just see clothes thrown across the floor. The items are stolen from donation bins or stolen from stores, and they just set up shop outside brick and mortar businesses. They take trade away from these businesses, and they don't pay taxes. There are no repercussions. They get a free pass, says Frias, who says the streets have become overrun by illegal vendors, while crime has been steadily increasing in the neighborhood. The video was taken on the edge of Ocasio-Cortez's 14th congressional district. The area is mostly represented by progressive politicians, including Congresswoman Grace Ming, Assembly members Catalina Cruz, Steve Raga, Jessica Gonzalez Rojas, and Council member Shekhar Krishnan. Now, if that's not a people of color coalition right there, I don't know what is. Would you guys agree that that list of names that I just read is white America's ideal people of color coalition? Because, they don't have to use a pick on their hair. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little bit more tolerable for them. When you got to start dealing with things like picks and fishbone combs, that's just too much. Everybody goes into a frenzy. You know what I'm saying? Fox News Digital reached out to Ocasio-Cortez's office, but did not receive a response for publication. The neighborhood is often touted as the most diverse in Queens and has long been a melting pot for migrants. But a portion of the migrant population there are reportedly in the U.S. illegally and don't have permits to work, leaving them with no choice but to take to the streets to make ends meet, the residents say. Or they could actually take to a plane and go back to where they came. They could do that. So there's lots of choices. They got options out here. Just like the cops got increased options. I could either go back home or I could hit the block over here in Corona. You know what I'm saying? They could either hit the street and try to sell these stolen clothes, or, you know what I'm saying, they could go back home. So they got options. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Freya says the prostitutes blatantly flaunt their bodies on the streets at all times of the day, which, mind you, that's not something that's specific to that's not something that's specific to the undocumented sisters. The domestic sisters are, you know what I'm saying, leading the charge on that one as well. You know what I'm saying? They do whatever they please. They're open about it and not discreet, Freya says. So these women have come over already westernized. Would you guys agree? And the women have already come over and understood the female culture here. For the most part, if you got it and you show it, then you can basically get whatever you want. That's not that difficult to learn, and they've clearly mastered it already. While these dummies are over here selling clothes, you know what I'm saying? Like if I got a C+, you know what I'm saying, or a D+, I'm gonna just sell that. Yeah, they definitely understand the market here. If you guys agree that they definitely understand the market here, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, well, no, they don't really understand the market. Nah, they understand the market. They understand the market. After they first couple Johns, they gonna get a phone. Once they get that phone, they finna set up an OnlyFans account, a TikTok account, and an Instagram account. And then let the money flow from there. You know what I'm saying? They line up along 90th Street in front of a pizzeria, a 99-cent store, and just try to pull men. You'll see multiple women in scantily clad clothing, again, which is actually no different from American women, because we're not going to sit here and act like American women just have these virtuous vows where they literally don't do this for free. We're not going to act like the women who are prostituting themselves in Queens literally don't look like outside of a club in Miami. We're not going to sit there and act like that, are we? And if we are, I'd advise you to go to a club in Miami and go outside and stand around. You know what I'm saying? Now it's cold and they are a bit covered up, but it will get worse in the summer. In January, New York PD raided 6 establishments allegedly engaged in prostitution, which were issued closing orders. The raid was well publicized with New York City Mayor Eric Adams present. I bet you he led the raid. Among these legal businesses, you have these single beds. It's clear what is taking place there and is really bringing down the quality of life. I kind of disagree with that, of this community. And anyone who says that this is a quote unquote victimless crime just really needs to see the inhumane conditions. Now, here's the thing, right? If you're doing some shady sex business, you're probably not going to do that right in the open. So you kind of really don't have a choice but to do it in like the most shady of the shady locations. However, again, when I say these things, I want to make it very clear. I'm talking about 2 consenting adults. Anybody that's being forced to do this, minors, that's not acceptable, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Adam said at the time, sex trafficking is real, and we're not going to sit by and pretend that it's not happening. Adams at the time was joined by council member Francisco Moya, who has been a vocal opponent of prostitution and illegal vendors in the neighborhood, often at odds with fellow Democrats. Curtis Swilla, the founder of the Guardian Angels, says that the city has not been aggressive enough in tackling the prostitution issue since police say no arrests were made in relation to the raid. So now they showed off this raid, but according to this Guardian Angels member, who is a documented and known liar, he literally lied when he ran against Eric Adams for mayor of New York City. So we can only take what he says with a grain of salt because he's a documented and known liar. Mind you, being quoted by the mainstream media as just, he said it, so it's so. When New York Police Department finally padlocked some of the houses of the prostitution, they did not arrest the prostitutes, Johns, or the madams, said Swila. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Why do you guys think that they didn't arrest the prostitutes, Johns, or the madams? Do you think that that's probably because there were some affluent and wealthy New Yorkers who got busted out in those raids, and it would have been an extremely bad look for the city? If you guys think that that's one of the reasons why nobody got arrested in those raids, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that there's some other reason why nobody got arrested in those raids, then give me a thumbs down. I think it was because a lot of the politicians are dirty. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys have not smashed the like button, we got 16 people watching and we got 16 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 30, that'd be great. They did not find the landlords who were housing the prostitution. Many of the businesses where prostitutes now openly use their space are once again open for business 24/7. The cops won't arrest the Johns and the district attorney won't prosecute the Johns. And we know who the district attorney is, right? The district attorney is Alvin Bragg. Shout out to Yoshimori. What's good with it, bro? So why won't Alvin Bragg prosecute these people? Probably because he's done some business with them. Anytime you see prostitution and there's this huge raid and then literally nobody gets in trouble, that's because when they did the raid and they found the records, somebody involved with politics or somebody involved with the people that did the bust found evidence that either them or one of their employees was involved, so they just swept it under the rug. And like I said, prostitution runs rampant. Police officers buy prostitutes. You guys remember that video that we did on Crimecast where Sheriff Grady Judd in Florida was talking about that other sheriff that they caught in the sting during a prostitution bust? Cops get caught buying hookers all the time. If they're not doing sexual degeneracy right there at the police station, like how they did in Tennessee with Officer Megan Hall, then they're buying it. If they can't get it for free, like how Megan Hall was giving it up, then cops will buy it. And again, I'm not somebody that's sitting up here criticizing somebody for quote unquote buying it. But I'm just saying, these are people that literally prosecute this. And then they write these grandiose articles about how their police department is doing such a good job, when the only thing that they're doing a good job of is hiding evidence and falsely representing narratives. The area is now a well-advertised red light district for migrants. The girls are mostly Asian and the Johns are mostly Hispanic, some of whom are migrants. There you go. There you go. Shout out to Jacoby. What's good with it, Jacoby? You guys hear that? I'm going to read this one more time. The area is now well advertised. Red light district for migrants. The girls are mostly Asian and the Johns are mostly Hispanic, some of whom are migrants. That's the Rice Coalition. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, Frias, a former Democrat, has become so enraged by the conditions that he is running for the Assembly District 39 seat as a Republican in a bid to reclaim the streets. The seat is currently held by Cruz, who tells Fox News Digital that a group of elected officials, separate from Moya, have been meeting with the city and state agencies to work on safe solutions for quality of life concerns. Cruz has previously called for more permits to be issued for street vendors, as she has also sponsored legislation to decriminalize prostitution. So what they're doing is they're trying to make everything that the migrants are doing for money legal. Shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy. What's good with it, bro? They're trying to make it. what they're going to do is they're going to quantitatively ease migrant crime by making all of the criminal activities that these migrants do legal. And then they can say, well, see, they're just hardworking. They're not committing crimes. That's because just last week, prostitution was illegal in New York City. And this week, you done turned it, you know what I'm saying? You done turned it legal. So now you got some chick, you know what I'm saying, that is like, you know, robo hooker that's busting out like 70 johns per day because she has concrete walls, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to sit there and do a documentary about her and say how hard of a worker she is. I mean, you know, she clearly is a hard worker. She's burning calories and making money, but still, literally last week, what she was doing was illegal. It was illegal. And so that you don't have to report migrant crime, you just turned around and made illegal activities legal. That's like how they're talking about all these industrious white people with these marijuana empires. Guess who had marijuana empires before these quote unquote industrial white people? I don't know. But if you go to your local state prison, I guarantee you could ask half of the black inmates and all of them was selling weed, making decent money. So this is the way that they quantitatively ease crime. And now the thing that's interesting about it is that they never quantitatively ease crime when it comes to black people. When you were a crackhead and the epidemic for, you know, doing crack and cocaine was at its heights, you got thrown in jail. Stuff put on your record that can't be taken off. Now you get some methadone and a pass to the clinic and safe injection sites. And then instead of prosecuting the user, you prosecute the person that sold it instead of prosecuting both. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Ocasio-Cortez herself has called the city to issue more vendor permits. Our goal, and always has been, to establish solutions that ensure our communities' economic and physical well-being, says Cruz, adding that the January raid was a city-controlled issue and that the police and the mayor's office did not inform her about it. Now, here goes the thing, right? If you just decide to make prostitution legal in New York City, like, you can't just make prostitution legal in New York City and then, like, that's the end of it. You got to put some type of regulations on there, and, like, they got to get linked up with the Centers for Disease Control and make sure that all of those prostitutes and make sure that those johns are clean, or else they're going to be spreading like epidemic level syphilis all over the place like they do in the UK every couple years. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just do that. And then if most of these prostitutes are undocumented, you don't know anything about their health status. You know what I'm saying? And like, now, you know, people will be laughing like, oh, you sitting up here talking about prostitution. Listen, man, y'all, anybody that's watched my content for a long time knows that I am not somebody that has an issue with the idea of sex work. I don't have an idea with women selling it. I don't have an issue with dudes buying it. As long as you're honest about the situation, and as long as it's legal where it's being done at, as long as somebody's not criminally being forced to do it and they're extorting, and as long as there's no minors involved, as long as it's consenting adults, I don't think that that's an issue. Honestly, I think if it was like that more, I think that there would probably be less incels and people would be less on edge, especially the way that the dating market is going. And you just got throwaway dudes who just are going to end up dying, never dealing with a woman. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, in certain corners of social media, if you say certain things, somehow you're a simp. Certain corners of social media, if you say other things, then you're too red-pilled. If you're black and you're a man and you simply discuss anything involving male and female interaction, somehow you're magically manosphere. I mean, you know, you just get all these titles thrown on you. You know what I'm saying? But that's because of social media. In fact, shout out to Pamela X. Yeah, I heard that AOC was a waitress and a bartender. She was like T-Pain. She is the bartender. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, but Frias says it's time for radical change in the neighborhood and a Republican approach to the matter. Now, you see how he says it's time for radical change in the neighborhood and a Republican approach to the matter? This kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier about how the New York Times is trying to proclaim that black people have made a shift to the right. I wouldn't say that this individual has made a shift to the right, but what he's seeing is that Democrats' extreme shift to the left on immigration is now causing detriment. So in order to deal with that, he's got to neutralize that with some Republican policies. He didn't shift to the right. It's just that you're causing an issue. And the only way to deal with that issue is to do something that appears to be right wing, because you have gone all the way to the left and just completely off of the diving board. So, you know, nobody's moving any one or other direction. It's just that the Democrats have become so damn extreme. Literally, if you think that men and women should use men and women bathrooms, well, welcome to the right. Welcome to being a Republican. I mean, Republicans aren't going to call you Republicans. They're going to call you the N-word. You know what I'm saying? But as far as amongst us, welcome to being a Republican. Shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy. Deformed Pretty Boy said in Australia, it's legal. In Australia, it's legal. They only have the brothels, no street walking, or you're going to prison. They all have to test and tax like an everyday job. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to actually have sex work and you're going to actually have prostitution, it needs to be done like that. So like there's still going to be regulation on it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have it where people just, you know what I'm saying, just passing AIDS back and forth. Like that's not the idea. And also when I say that, I think that prostitution, you know what I'm saying, like should be legal. I want to make sure I mean within regulations where the risk of people getting physically harmed is at its lowest. Not just some wild shit going on in a corner in Skid Row. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So now here, and see, and I want to say this also. That's also one of the reasons why I don't really get upset or offended about OnlyFans models. Because like back in the day when strippers was the big hustle before all the OnlyFans stuff, there's a lot of strippers that was getting yoked up, a lot of strippers that was getting beat up, a lot of strippers that was getting deleted, all kind of shady stuff happening. If you can do that kind of stuff and do it in the comfort of your own home and you got people that's willing to buy, as that's safer for you, congratulations. But it's a risk going out there doing that shit at a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Like something really bad could happen to you or the person that you're dealing with, because it's just wild outside anymore. You know what I'm saying? So now here he says, I've lived here my whole life. I've seen the changes go from good to bad to worse, and it's at the peak of worse right now. And I don't want it to go past that, says Frias, adding that he is very much pro-immigrant. So this guy Frias, as you guys can see, he's pro-immigrant. But however, his biggest issue is that his neighborhood is getting destroyed. Yeah, see, if you guys listen to Deformed Pretty Boy, he said a lot of them was getting deleted in California. If any of y'all got like any friends, you know what I'm saying, like any homegirls or whatever, that strippers, they'll tell you like when they were stripping, that shit's not the business. And a lot of times if you had a friend that was a stripper or somebody that was doing that life, if y'all were like actually good friends, if they were single and didn't have a boyfriend, a lot of times they'll tell you like, yo, come chill at the club. You know what I'm saying? Just so like I can get out to my car in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Like I'm not saying anything other than, you know what I'm saying, from my experience in life. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't, we got 20 people watching and we got 18 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button, try to get us to 40 likes. Also, if you guys haven't shared the stream, take a moment, share the stream to your social media. All right. Definitely appreciate it. So now this individual that took these pictures, his father is from the Dominican Republic, while his mother immigrated from Haiti and was an attorney who helped people in the neighborhood for years obtain their citizenship. I love the hustle of the immigrants in this neighborhood, but people cannot just do as they please. And the area has effectively deteriorated into an open flea market, Frida says. You literally step up in either direction and you're in a different country, different types of food, which is funny because you're upset about that in New York City. Yet literally New York City has always been, if you step up, you're in a different country. You go over here, you're in Little Haiti. You go over here, you're in Puerto Rico. You go over there, you in Little Italy. You go down to Manhattan, you in Chinatown, man. What is you talking about? It's always been like that in New York City. See, facts. Shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy. Deformed Pretty Boy said, my homeboy wife was a stripper. He used to be trying to get me to go to the club with him all the time. He was in there every week. Yeah, facts. I'm dead serious. And see, like, this is what I'm talking about, like, about a lot of people on YouTube. This how, like, a lot of people on YouTube, you could tell, like, all they do is, like, watch certain videos and then just repeat certain talking points. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people are not really ever speaking from real life experience. I had friends that was strippers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to be funny, but a lot of times that's how I found out about a strip club, because I'll be driving past the place. I didn't know that was a strip club. You about to go in there? I didn't know that was even a strip club. Where the strip club at? I've been there to eat. Oh, it's around the back. Oh, okay, bet. I never know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you listen to people on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll talk about that like it's all, you know, oh, like this is shameful and this, that, and other. Like, bro, like ain't nobody out here telling people to go be a stripper. Like, that's your life career. That's what you should do, and that's what you should aspire to. Nobody's saying that, but people do what they do. Like, it is what it is. I'm not about to give one of my homegirls a damn speech about how to change your life every 5 minutes. That's what you chose to do. You ain't about to change. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not about to stop being your friend. You know what I'm saying? I just know what you're on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? So now we're going to Denver, because as everybody knows, Denver is lit. And Denver is lit because the migrant crisis is lit. It's going down all over the place. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you something about having a friend that's a stripper. I'm going to tell you something about having a friend that's a stripper. In most cases, if you got a friend that's a stripper, they always have excess amounts of liquid cash. You literally never have to pay for anything. If you give them a ride to work, you're getting $50 for gas, even if it only take $30 to fill your tank up. If you bring them home at 3 o'clock in the morning, your Denny's or your IHOP or your Waffle House is getting paid for. If they don't have no car and they ask you to go grab them a pack of cigarettes or something like that, you're keeping all of the change. You know what I'm saying? And they don't think, and they don't even think twice about it. Like, it's just here go this $100. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna make like 5 times that tonight. Like, I'm dead serious. And as you, as a male, are working your ass off at a 9-to-5 job, trying to figure out, are you going to eat ramen or instant lunch? And you're like taking some chick that you know is just not the brightest to her stripper job, and she's got hundreds of spare dollars to just blow on nothing. It just really makes you reevaluate a lot of things in life. You know what I'm saying? You just really sit there and wonder. Like, you, shout out to Cyberdean 100. What's good with it, bro? You got your boss yelling at you. You got projects due. Then when you get your paycheck, it's already spent. And then, like, you have your homegirl that you know she's not Einstein, but like, you're seeing her counting what she made that night, and she literally made what you make on a paycheck in 3 hours. Just makes you quit. Just you just, that's one of those ride homes after you drop her off, then you park in your driveway, and then you just sit in your car for like a good half hour just thinking. And then you go in, you don't open up the cabinets. You know what I'm saying? You might not even take your coat off. You just sit down on the couch, and then you wake up the next morning. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys please throw some flames in the chat for Pam X. She hooked your boy up on Cash App. Definitely appreciate it. Now, remember, y'all, shout out to Pam, right? Remember, if y'all are sending those Cash Apps, I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, anything that you guys use, because y'all know it goes back into the platform. Save a little bit for yourself. So if you're going to send 15, don't send me 15. Send me 10. Buy $5 of Bitcoin with the other 5 and keep it there. Don't touch it. We're not going to touch any of that until the end of the year. So whatever you're thinking about sending me on Cash App, cut it and keep the other part in the Bitcoin. Okay? Make sure that y'all do that. Shout out to TD. TD said, "Rob about to hit the poll after this stream." That's hilarious. Man, listen, that's man, ain't nothing popping like that out here. Not like it used to back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So now here they said Douglas County aims to challenge Colorado's sanctuary laws amid illegal immigration surge in Denver. All right. So now what you see is a lot of and we know about this, right? There go your boy Michael Johnston right there. A lot of us have seen this. All of these liberal areas are now going back on their sanctuary city status, and they're wanting to make it where it's not a sanctuary city. Carlton Way said Umar would never tell us to split a donation and then buy Bitcoin. Umar, now this is what's funny. Umar would tell you not to mess with, you know what I'm saying, no sex worker neither. And the only reason why he would say that is because secretly he wants to keep them all for himself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, we like I said, we a little bit different over here. It's all good though. Douglas County commissioners are eyeing a legal challenge to Colorado's sanctuary laws amid a surge in illegal immigration that has already cost Denver, the epicenter of the crisis, tens of millions of dollars. Tens of millions of dollars. Shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy. Deformed Pretty Boy says, "I just can't understand how these women come from the other side of the planet, and the best they could do is come sell box." Well, you know, I don't know, but I think it would be interesting if they had something like a sex worker draft, like the NBA draft. How would you determine who's the best? I'm sure there's a lot of people that be beating down the door to, you know what I'm saying, be a part of that process. Oh man! Shout out to Kurt. We don't have, this channel's not monetized yet, bro. But if you want to send a Cash App, I definitely appreciate it. It's $ROBBFOSTERIII. I think the Cash App should come up in the bots should put it in the chat. I think, you know what I'm saying. But if the bots don't put it in the chat, I think it's, you know what, they took away the about page on YouTube. Did you guys notice that? How many people noticed that they took away the about page on YouTube? They took away the about page. So like you can't even go to the about page and click the links anymore. Yeah, that's fact. A lot of them, shout out to TD, a lot of them was selling box on the other side of the planet. Listen, there should be some type of quality control agency that like rates the actual quality with actual quantitative measures of the quote unquote box for sex workers. You know what I'm saying? And then they would have some quantitative basis on how they could on the prices that they'd be able to charge. Shout out to With the Band. Shout out to my man With the Band over there on Twitch. What's good with it, bro? Listen, hey, you know what I'm saying? All I gotta say is, you know, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, if one of the moderators could throw my Cash App link into the chat, that would be great. Also, that would help because sometimes Cash App be on some weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and also real quick, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, take a moment, hit the bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. They also advanced a proposed ordinance that bars commercial buses from unloading passengers. So they did the same thing that New York and Chicago tried to do. Other than at planned and scheduled documented designations, a clear attempt to stop migrants from arriving at the county's doors unannounced. In a resolution, the commissioners on Tuesday directed the county attorney to, quote unquote, pursue legal action to permit the county to fully cooperate with federal law enforcement. Okay. The resolution says that the county acknowledges there is an immigration crisis in the United States and that the state laws prohibiting legal governments from working with federal immigration officials exacerbates this crisis. So my thing is that they should strike those laws down across the board in all 50 states. And also they should put parameters on there. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not legal to create those kind of laws or enforce those laws at all. Here's my question. The same thing that they're prostitution on the mind now. The same thing that they're prosecuting, right? The same thing that they have Gregory Abbott tied up in court for, saying that the razor wire is a quote unquote immigration issue. If immigrants have the jurisdiction of immigration, then how is it that like federal, or how is it that state and local law enforcement can interfere with enforcing laws against immigrants or illegal migrants? Facts. Make sure y'all throw some flames in the chat for my man With the Band. My man With the Band says share the stream the best way. Facts. Seriously, I want y'all to try to sit back and make that make sense. Here, I got you. I'm gonna just put the thing in there. I got you, Carlton. Hold on real quick. That ain't the link, but that's the cash tag right there. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, broadly speaking, a sanctuary jurisdiction is a designation given to municipalities, counties, or states that establish policies to discourage law enforcement from reporting an individual's immigration status to federal authorities. Isn't that overstepping their jurisdiction? Let me ask you guys this question. Isn't that overstepping their if you guys feel that that's overstepping the jurisdiction, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't feel that that's overstepping the jurisdiction, then give me a thumbs down. That's overstepping the jurisdiction. Literally the exact same thing that they're criticizing Greg Abbott for is what they're doing by not cooperating with the actual law enforcement agency that's supposed to deal with that particular group of people. So now here it says Douglas County's actions address two state laws. The first, passed in the first passed in 2019, prohibits local governments from cooperating with federal governments in immigration enforcement and prohibits the sharing of judicial information with federal officials. Isn't that interfering with law enforcement? Like, if you ask me, this isn't rocket science. This is blatantly interfering with law enforcement. I mean, how can we call it anything else? How can we call it anything else? The second passed last year, barring local government involvement in immigration detention. Douglas County Commissioner Abe Layden said on Friday the county has a responsibility to, quote unquote, honor immigrants coming into the country legally. Okay, again, this says honor immigrants coming into the country legally. What about the ones that come in illegally? Do you guys notice that when they do all of this and when they have all of these things and they're propping all of this stuff up, they always refer these things back to what needs to be done for people abiding by the law? We're not talking about the people that are abiding by the law. The name of the channel is Undocumented. We're talking about people who are not abiding by the law. But they always try to conflate the two. So my question for you guys is, why is that? Why would you guys say that that they do that? We believe in lending with compassion, but it's not compassionate to bring migrants to a cold climate without the right resources and no warm place to stay, Layden said. But they're bringing themselves to the southern border, though, and they're doing, like, nobody's trafficking these. I mean, people are trafficking these people, but they're not getting kidnapped and taken somewhere. Like, they're making their goal, the moment they leave their country, their goal is to get to the United States. So they're trying to get here by any means possible. They're making a conscious decision to try to get here. So why we're acting like they're not is beyond me. I don't understand this. We know why people want to come to America, and specifically Douglas County, yet we have a responsibility to honor those who do so through the proper channels, and we welcome those who do. Right. We're not talking about the people that come through proper channels. We're talking about the illegal ones. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to TD. Make sure y'all throw some flames, radiation emoji, and ducks in the chat for TD for throwing the Cash App link in the chat. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Yo, also, we only got what do we need? We only need 24 more subs before we get 500 and a couple hundred more watch hours before we get monetized. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, by the end of April at the very least. But y'all know how slow they are with my channel, and you know what I'm saying, anything associated with me, they put the brakes on that shit for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? You know, this video will have like 50 likes and 100 views. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. Since December of 2022, nearly 40,000 immigrants, many of whom illegally crossed America's southern border, arrived in Denver. So, like, do you notice how, like, when they're trying to justify this stuff, in the last paragraph, they just said, well, we owe this to people coming in legally, and we owe that to people coming in legally. And now immediately after that, they talk about how the illegal amount of people coming in is what's really affecting the numbers of people. This is really affecting the numbers. Since December of 2022, nearly 40,000 migrants, many of whom illegally crossed America's southern border, arrived in Denver, a sanctuary city where officials decided earlier in the crisis to provide shelter, feed, and transport immigrants to their final destination. Many have been bused from El Paso by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The decision has come with a high price tag. More than 59 million and counting to date. The state and federal government have reimbursed roughly 14 million, with the rest who have come by the city's taxpayers. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Cyberdean. Make sure y'all show Cyberdean some love. Shout out to you, bro, for the Cash App. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat. And if I missed one, if there's anybody else that sent one, make sure that you guys throw some flames and radiation emoji in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not used to having my phone by me when I stream. I got to start doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize. Please don't think that I'm not grateful. But remember, for everybody sending those Cash Apps, make sure that you guys take a portion of it and buy Bitcoin before you send the Cash App, and don't touch it. Do not touch it until the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Denver is surrounded by counties and cities that have deliberately avoided being tagged with sanctuary status. Some officials worried about getting saddled with the cost after seeing what's unfolding in Denver have gone farther to try and deter immigrants from coming into their territories. Douglas County is one of them. All right, so Douglas County is trying to stop this from happening because Colorado is a sanctuary state. Okay. Colorado is a sanctuary state. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How does it affect all of the cities in the state if the state that the city is located in is a sanctuary city? What happens if you have a city that does not agree with sanctuary policy, but the state that that city resides in is a sanctuary state? How does that translate? Shout out to TD. Make sure y'all throw some flames in the chat for TD. This right here is one of the reasons why TD always tells people, pay very close attention to the local politics. Pay very close attention to the local politics. My question for you guys is, how important do you all think that local and state politics are? Local and state politics, if you don't pay close attention to local and state politics, they can have you in a situation like these people that are dealing with these migrant crises right now, trying to scramble to get a lot of this legislation overturned because it's destroying the areas where they are right in front of their eyes, and they're legally bound. They're not able to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? That's not a situation that you want to find yourself in. So now here it says Layden is not yet sure exactly what the process of challenging those state laws will be, pending conversations with county attorneys. So now you see in a lot of these situations, these people, they don't even know how to fight this stuff. They don't even know how to get the process rolling of getting this stuff removed. So the time that it's going to take for them to learn, file everything properly, time could be of the essence. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says there are a variety of channels the county can take to challenge those laws, which the board will be advised on by the county attorney before moving forward. The commissioners also approved on first reading a proposal that says the driver of a commercial passenger vehicle shall not stop such vehicle in unincorporated Douglas County, Colorado, for the purpose of unloading passengers other than at a planned and scheduled documented destination. The proposal defines scheduled documented destination to mean a pre-planned destination or a stop planned on a route to a destination that can be demonstrated by a departure and arrival schedule, passenger ticket, receipt, or other publicly available document depicting the location where passengers are planned to unload. So what they're trying to do with this is they're trying to force some type of control over the logistics of the migrant crisis. But here's my question for you guys. How How do you control the logistics of a uncontrollable crisis? All that's actually doing is that would just contain all of these illegal migrants in Texas, yet they would still be coming over here and they would just slowly be leaking into other states, but it would be at a slower of a pace than what they are now. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says the proposal also requires the driver to maintain documentation to demonstrate that passengers are being unloaded at a scheduled documented destination. Violation will result in a fine of up to $1,000 for each separate incident, according to the proposal, which is scheduled for the second reading on March 26th and will go into effect immediately if passed. The unloading of commercial passengers in unplanned locations is detrimental to the health, safety, and welfare of the community where the commercial passengers are unloaded, the proposed ordinance says. Douglas County Commissioner Laura Thomas said since the federal government is not taking action at the border, the proposed ordinance is necessary. Now, here's the thing. Let me ask you guys this question. The proposed ordinance might slow down buses from coming in with migrants, but what really needs to happen in order to either stop or slow this migrant crisis that we have? It's amazing how, like, literally everybody knows what needs to be done to deal with this, seemingly, other than the United States government. Don't you guys think that that's just extremely interesting? Literally anybody that you talk to about this, it's not rocket science. Everybody knows what to do to deal with this. But it just seems like Joe Biden and the Democrats and everybody else, they have no idea how to handle this. None whatsoever. Just clueless. You know what I'm saying? The national migrant crisis has forced Denver to cut services for local residents. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Is that a true statement? Is that a true statement? I'm gonna let you guys handle that. Is that a true statement? The national migrant crisis has forced Denver to cut local services for residents. If that's the case, why is it that every place in the United States hasn't cut services for local residents? If it's a national crisis and it's affecting the nation, why is it that people in the entire nation haven't cut services for local residents? We have an obligation first to our citizens, and we see what's happening in Denver as a warning sign to be proactive here in Douglas County. Layden says he hopes the two actions on Tuesday will help the county avoid overtapping its resources. Following the recent snowstorm that swept into the metro Denver area Wednesday and Thursday, Layden says he's not sure how immigrants handled the weather, emphasizing his point that encouraging immigrants to come to the metro Denver and its climate is not compassionate. Yo, speaking of which, I'm surprised we haven't heard any stories about migrants getting overwhelmed by those crazy snowstorms that they've been having in Colorado. Have you guys heard about that? The snow has been lit in Colorado. People who are seeking asylum and being bused here are being misled. Just like old boy said in Long Island, you're being lied to. Being told this is a safe place with a lot of resources and tons of money. And we're a sanctuary region. And that's just not true, he said. This is not a climate for people to come to, and the money does not exist to care for them. Well, what's that mean? Oh, man. What's that mean? You know what I'm saying? You guys usually help me out and tell me what this stuff means. What's that mean? I'll tell you what that means. That means that illegal immigrants leave U.S. hospitals with billions in unpaid bills. How do you get a situation like that? How do you get somebody tell me, how do you get a situation like this? Illegal immigrants leave U.S. hospitals with billions in unpaid bills. Hospital systems struggle as uninsured illegal immigrants use them as their free healthcare destination. Must be nice. When is the last time any of you all got free healthcare? Anybody got a testimony for me? Last time you went to an urgent care and they said that? We usually charge about $1,000 to put a Band-Aid on a finger, but it's on the house tonight. When is the last time that happened for you? I think the last time that happened for me was like 3 or 4 months after never. You know what I'm saying? Now, this article here is long as hell, okay? This article is long as hell. Do y'all see how long this article is? So we're not going to read this article. One of the reasons why we're not going to read this article is because the primary focus of this article is about the strain that the migrant crisis has placed on the Denver hospital system. And we've covered the issues at Denver hospital system multiple times. However, I'm showing you guys this article because we are going to do a separate stream on it eventually. Okay? We're going to do a separate stream on it. It's just not happening tonight. All right? What we're going to talk about now is some speculation. All right? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 25 people watching. Definitely appreciate y'all. If you guys are watching and you haven't smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, help us get to 500. Hit that bell icon. Make sure you hit it twice. I'm telling you, it's not worth hitting if you don't hit it twice. So hit it twice and share the stream to your social media. We got 26 people watching and we got 26 likes. Let's try to get them likes to 50. Let's try to get them likes to 50. Like Jamaica Queens. You know what I'm saying? So, speaking of like 50 and Jamaica Queens, we're going to talk about what the DEA been up to. All right? The DEA has been busy linking Mexican cartels to drugs in Colorado and Denver's fentanyl epidemic. You probably could have seen that one coming a mile away. You probably could have seen that one coming a mile away. You know what I'm saying? It's everything we do, Special Agent says, about fight against fentanyl in the region. Now, do you all think that the migrants coming into Denver have anything to do with any of this? Look at all this dope on the table. It's probably, you know what I'm saying, probably $500,000-$600,000 worth of dope. You know what I'm saying? Get you a couple Bitcoins. Probably get you like 4 or 5 Bitcoins. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Agents from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration and Rocky Mountains Field Division on Thursday seized more than 50,000 pills of fentanyl and more than 50 pounds of methamphetamine in Metro Denver, one of the biggest drug busts this year so far. 50 pounds of meth. Now that's money right there. I'm not trying to be funny, but when I look at drugs as money. Because if the world ended tomorrow, if you had drugs, those would be of more value than money. If you were in a house and you were sitting on a room full of $100 bills, and if you were sitting in a trap house, if it was the end of the world, if you're sitting in that trap house, you just became the new Bill Gates. So, you know, I always in my head convert drugs to money. You know what I'm saying? 50,000 fentanyl pills. 50 pounds of meth. Somebody do me a favor. Somebody Google how much money 50 pounds of meth is worth and put the amount in the chat. If somebody could do that for me, that'd be great. Little else is known about the details of the operation. I bet you they don't know where half the evidence is anymore either. I bet you some cops, you know what I'm saying, some people, some of them police on that police force and some of them DEA agents, they about to pay cash for they kids education at University of Colorado or Colorado State. I'll tell you that. I tell you that. What authorities told the Denver Gazette, however, is that they're confident the drugs can be traced back to one of two major Mexican cartels operating in Colorado. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How are Mexican cartels operating in Colorado? Is that concerning to anybody? There you go. Shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. Y'all see that? 50 pounds of meth is equivalent to $2 million. How many people knew that? If you knew that, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't know that, give me a thumbs down. 50 pounds of meth is equivalent to $2 million. So now the police is just sitting on $2 million. And not to mention, that's just the meth. Let's not forget how many fentanyl pills did they get? How many fentanyl pills did they get? They got 50,000. Somebody Google how much 50,000 fentanyl pills are worth. Probably you might not be able to get the value on that because the dose of the fentanyl ain't on there. So never mind. Don't do that one. $2 million. That's big. That's big money. You know what I'm saying? When folks hear cartel, they're like, really, in Colorado? Which I don't know why they're saying like, really, in Colorado. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Colorado, but there's a lot of Latinos in Colorado, and not just the like illegal migrant population. Like Colorado's part of Colorado, I believe, qualifies as the Southwest, and there's a huge population of, you know what I'm saying, like Mexicans and indigenous, you know what I'm saying, people that would qualify as that ethnicity of people in Colorado. Right, exactly. Jay Bird and Deformed Pretty Boy. That's what I'm saying. At the very least, like at the least is the 2 million. Man, listen, bro. Listen. I need that kind of money in my life, y'all. For real. You know what I'm saying? That's that get rich or die trying money. You know what I'm saying? That's that get rich or die trying money. So now here it says, when folks hear Colorado, or when folks hear cartel, they're like, really, in Colorado? Acting Special Agent in Charge David Olsky said, they are here. You can't think that it's so far away. He added, don't think Colorado is immune from the things we talk about at a national level. A lot of times people, they do that. You know what I'm saying? In interviews with the Denver Gazette, DEA agents outlined sophisticated operations from the two major Mexican cartels, which they blamed as being responsible for the majority of the fentanyl that makes its way into Colorado, and the consistent battle against the drug that has led to nearly 70% of the 112,000 plus overdose deaths between June of 2022 and June of 2023. It's everything we do, Olesky said. Our ultimate goal in every case is to tie it back to the cartel, Field Intelligence Manager Scott Rowan added. So, I mean, I guess that's good, but what that shows is that there's a bias. because they're already looking to tie it to the cartel. So if the cartel in one instance didn't do it, they're going to try to find links that don't exist that tie it to the cartel. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that's to keep the crime stats of the natives down, because you know who the majority of people in Colorado are. Can't dirty up their little reputations now. So Interstate 25 and Interstate 70 are the main arteries of drug trafficking. How many people have ever driven down a drug highway? You ever driven down I-95 or anything like that? You guys listen to the rap music and they talking about, yeah, have pounds going state to state, going down I-95 with fish scale on the plate. All that bullshit. How many of y'all ever driven down I-95 or any of these quote unquote drug trafficking highways? You will literally see vehicles of law enforcement agencies that you didn't even know exist. And literally every couple miles, somebody is hemmed up. I don't know how Interstate 80 or Interstate 90 is not a major drug trafficking highway. I don't understand that, but apparently it's not. So now here says Suzanne Fryer, group supervisor for the Front Range Task Force, a specialized collection of local departments and Front Range high-intensity drug trafficking areas programs, said the bust is connected to one of two Mexican cartels making up for the majority of drug trafficking in the United States. Fryer oversaw the undercover operation that yielded 50,000 fentanyl pills. The two groups, the Sinaloa and the Jalisco New Generation cartels, are heavily involved in the fentanyl and methamphetamine distribution in Colorado, according to the agency. You might be focusing on a single distributor here, but if it's illicit fentanyl, it will trace back to one of them, Rowan said of the cartels. You may have to go back a few levels. An operation here may stem back to California and Arizona before Mexico, but it will go back there. How many people ever saw Breaking Bad? If you ever saw that TV show called Breaking Bad that used to be on AMC, give me a thumbs up. Or if you ever seen Better Call Saul. If you guys haven't seen that either of those shows, then give me a thumbs down. If you watch those shows, despite how unrealistic the Heisenberg character is, because let's just keep it a buck, that show was good for entertainment value, but the Heisenberg character is absolutely unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? The Heisenberg character is absolutely unrealistic. That literally would never happen, ever. That show actually gives somewhat of a decent visual of this kind of stuff here that they're talking about. If you watch, I think like starting at season 4 of Sons of Anarchy, they also kind of give a good picture of this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Olsky compared the concept to a major business chain in which the Mexican cartels run the headquarters, distributing the goods to multiple smaller operations, the local storefronts akin to fast food chains in every major city. He added that the relatively close proximity to the Mexico border, just a few hundred miles south, helps springboard new trends from cartels, especially through Interstate 25 and Interstate 70, the main arteries of the state for both transportation and drug trafficking, he said. For example, when the division heard about the rainbow-colored fentanyl pills in Southern California in 2022, agents found them in Colorado within 24 hours. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How did that happen? How did those drugs migrate like that? there's got to be some type of explanation for how those drugs were able to migrate like that. So what contributed to the migration of those drugs? Anybody got any ideas? The Sureños, the Norteños, the Florencia Firestones, what Fresno got a gang called the Bulldogs. They all over the place. All them gangs is connected to La M.A. You know what I'm saying? Even MS-13, that's why they got the number 13, because 13 is the letter M. You know what I'm saying? And they all racist as hell. Those are racists. The only, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like it's really irritating. Like, I don't know, like, you got to start questioning certain things. A lot of time, like, when we do, like, we are the world crime too. And you just got to ask yourself the question, like, what's actually going on? Literally, most criminal organizations have barriers based on race, except for, take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess who doesn't have any race-based barriers for their criminal organizations and criminality. Take a wild guess. And you got to ask yourself the question, did you, like, hit your head as a child? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be this is why one of the reasons why, if you ask me, like, all the rappers need to be purged. Like, they all need to be purged. Like, all of that ugly face making that they do, waving all these choppers around, like, bro, like, that, all of that stuff is clown stuff. All of these cats that be doing all of that stuff, they all have somebody in their videos that'll go over their grandma's house and call somebody the M word. New York City was one of the first goofy ass places doing that nonsense, dealing with the terror squad and Fat Joe. MC Search. And you got to ask yourself the question, why? And then, like, the thing that you add, then, like, the people that act like they're outraged about it nowadays, they weren't saying nothing about it back then. Like, I remember when Noriega started doing the reggaeton, all of that stuff, like, all of the rappers, like, I knew all of them cats. None of it was a lot of cats that was like non-FBA, quote unquote, right? And, you know, a lot of them still black, but there's some of them that's not black. Fat Joe is not black. You know what I'm saying? You know, like Lloyd Banks, he Puerto Rican, but he black though. Fabulous, you know what I'm saying? He Latino too, but he black. Noriega, he Puerto Rican, but he black. I ain't talking about them, even though sometimes they be on some nonsense. I'm talking about, like, Fat Joe. I'm talking about, like, Cuban Links. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, like, Big Pun. And now all of the people that's, like, going on these crusades, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where was y'all at? Y'all didn't know these cats wasn't black Americans? I was the first, man. Listen, bro. Listen, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. I used to listen to some Fat Joe songs. You know what I'm saying? He got this one song called So Much More. I used to like So Much More. I liked All of the Above, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to sit up here and be like, oh, I ain't never fuck with no Fat Joe. That's not true. He had a couple cuts that I messed with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Lean Back, you know what I'm saying? What's Love? If you sit there and say that you didn't listen to What's Love with Ja Rule and Ashanti, you a damn lie. But okay, all the hardcore fist pumpers now that everybody is doing this whole diaspora war thing. If you're gonna sit there and say you didn't listen to Lean Back and you didn't listen to if you didn't listen to Lean Back and you didn't listen to What's Love, then how to sell so many records, man? Go on somewhere with the front, man. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. Because it's definitely going to be all right for me, because I'm going to sit here and tell you that I like that. I like those songs. I ain't going to lie. Like, I still like What's Love. I still like Lean Back. I don't like Fat Joe with his bullshit, though. You know what I'm saying? I always ask the question, yo, why do they be letting this white dude say the N-word like that? And then, like, literally, like, people will be like, Fat Joe's not white. I'll be like, man, what are you talking about? What is you talking about? Fat Joe's not white. Then I would be like, yo, French Montana's goofy, man. This dude is a clown. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be funny, bro, but French Montana is always talking about immigrants built the nation. French Montana always says that shit. I like Dave East. You know what I'm saying? Dave East, one of my favorite rappers. I like Dave East. I like Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. But there's a song, an old school song that Dave East made called Maneuver. That's one of my favorite songs. And in that song, French Montana is talking about immigrants building the nation. And it's like, bruh. There's some Puerto Rican rappers that I like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like True Life back in the day when he was doing his thing. He ain't never say no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Neither did Lloyd Banks. Neither did Noriega, for real. But yo, check this out though, bro. Deformed Pretty Boy. It is the NY stuff, but bro, I like, as much as I like San Quinn, look at who San Quinn be having in his videos, bro. San Quinn, that's my man, 100 grand. But look who he be having in his videos, bro. Look at man, I love Houston rap, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Texas, bro, I mess with Lil Flip. You know what I'm saying? I mess with the Ghetto Boys. You know what I'm saying? Scarface. You know what I'm saying? Too bad Willie D turned out to be the type of YouTuber he is. You know what I'm saying? I like Mike Jones and all them, Slim Thug. You know what I'm saying? UGK, even though they on some weird stuff now. But all them cats, they all was co-signing South Park Mexican. Not all of them, but a lot of Houston rappers was co-signing South Park Mexican. They had Riff Raff on the interview trying to get Riff Raff to say the N-word. Riff Raff was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't have no issue with Paul Wall. You know what I'm saying? Paul Wall got this song called Chick Magnet. That's chopped and screwed. That shit go hard. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never really heard nothing crazy controversial about Paul Wall. You know what I'm saying? But like, nobody was calling these people out for their associations. And again, I'm not even mad at people that got associations. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad that Mike Jones and all them and Chameleonaire and all them, you know what I'm saying, they brought Paul Wall up. I ain't like Paul Wall, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't tripping on Paul Wall. And Paul Wall ain't really out there like disrespecting really. Like I ain't really never heard Paul Wall say the N-word all like that. Or I ain't never really heard him say no crazy like degrading shit about black people either. But when you got somebody like now look at Fat Joe. What black person did Fat Joe put on? Who did Fat Joe put on? Fat Joe, look, the Beat Nuts put on Big Pun. The Beat Nuts is Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, KRS-One was one of the people that was backing Fat Joe. Fat Joe brought in the Terror Squad. The only like really actual black person that Fat Joe ever backed was like Remy Ma. Facts, Deformed Pretty Boy. And then even when the tape came out with Eminem saying the N-word, he at least apologized. Whether it was sincere or not, you know what I'm saying? In most cases, you can't even get an apology out of them for it. And the thing is, a lot of times with Eminem, see, like all these people getting on this shit, a lot of these motherfuckers is clowns, bro. Like Eminem and Benzino been had beef. They been had beef, right? Now here go my thing. With the Eminem shit and people like saying that Eminem is the best rapper and all this shit, Eminem ain't never say that. It's these other goofy ass rappers that be saying that shit. Eminem them said that cats that said that he was the best rapper was better than him, and that's who they got inspiration from. But now everybody's on this, you know what I'm saying, new style fist pumping and people making their own revisionist history in they little echo chambers and shit. Now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, it's some other shit behind the Eminem Benzino beef. Them motherfuckers been had beef. Where the fuck was you at? The same place you was at when you didn't notice that half these non-FBA motherfuckers was taking over rap and you was turning your head to the shit. You know what I'm saying? So like all these, like now what it is like all these cats like pick out these certain hip hop stories and be like, see, look at this family. I'm gonna show you this family. I'm gonna show you that. But then at the same time, these are the same motherfuckers that sit there and say, don't pay attention to celebrities. And then they also be the ones that say that WSB rewriting history, and these cats don't even know shit about like rap history and shit like that. Eminem and Benzino been had beef for decades. And then that shit compiled when Eminem signed 50 Cent. Because Benzino was cool with Ja Rule and Murder Inc., which that street beef had literally nothing to do with any of that shit. That was on some old Supreme team shit from New York City and Jamaica, Queens. But because it's YouTube and everybody got to follow these narratives and shit, we got to tie all this shit in and bring it to our audience and see, this is what's going on. Nah, y'all should have been talking about that. Y'all should have been talking about that shit. That shit been going on. That shit's old news. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Ricky. What's good with it, bro? Eminem in that song Without Me, he said, I'm gonna do black music to get myself wealthy. Eminem been known what the fuck he was doing. He even referenced Elvis in the verse before the shit. So now, like, you got content creators coming out like this shit is some kind of mystery and shit. He said the shit in White America. In the song White America, he said that if he was black, he wouldn't even be getting the props that he getting. But because he's white and how white people are, that's why he blowing up like that. Eminem literally said all this shit in his own motherfucking music. Yeah, Eminem put on matter of fact, every artist Eminem put on, if I'm not mistaken, is black. He put on people from the Crib, he put on Proof, Royce da 5'9", a lot of motherfuckers from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And he put on 50. Now again, like everybody got their flaws, and then when Eminem wrong, I'm not about to take Eminem's back. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, tell history the right way and don't just latch onto some shit to try to emotionally charge your audience. Like, that's corny. We already got enough of that bullshit going on with the mainstream media. Independent people that people trust don't need that extra shit. People already coming to independent people because they're looking for a way to find accurate information away from the mainstream media. That's the last thing independent motherfuckers need to do, is get on a bullshit ass narrative. You know what I'm saying? The people that need to get the scrutiny is the people, for one, that didn't control their art form, and for two, the people that allowed unchecked disrespect into hip hop. And then you stop servicing the base of people that hip hop was actually made for and start servicing the people. Just, you know what I'm saying? You just start servicing other people. It didn't even care. They don't even care. I'm not trying to be funny, man, but like, I'd be tired of when it's blatant that certain shit was mismanaged. People always looking to point the finger at the other person that don't need to have a finger pointed at them. When we make mistakes, we need to deal with the mistakes. The hip hop industry was an entire bag dropping and mistake from day one when we didn't control the record companies. Everybody should have done that shit like Master P did. Yeah, the Latino people, even the Puerto Ricans, like I said, like when it come to shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy. When it come to Fat Joe, who was a black person in Terror Squad? Fat Joe been on that shit. He's been on that. Fat Joe was never around black people, except for the few times when he would have some black people on his music. And I'm not trying to be funny, man, but a lot of them West Coast cats, bro, all they do is Swagger Jack, Bone Thugs, and Harmony. Man, Bone Thugs and Harmony is 5 Cleveland foundational black Americans from the Glenville area. They ain't got shit to do with no red, green, and white. You know what I'm saying? In the next 10 years, these motherfuckers gonna be trying to sit there and say Busy Bone was Mexican and shit. And no matter how much y'all love Busy Bone, he's not. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. Busy Bone's not part of La Raza. Sorry. Neither is Snoop. Neither is the Lowrider song. Neither is Ice Cube. Neither is Khakis, Lokes, and Flannels. You know what I'm saying? Fucking swagger jacking ass motherfuckers, man. I'm not trying to be funny, man, but it irks the fuck out of me to look at California the way that it is. All you got to do is go look at Volume 10's Pistol Grip Pump video. Where was them motherfuckers at back then? Now, you go out to the street, everybody dressed like how Volume 10 was dressed in the Pistol Grip Pump on my lap at all times video. You got George Lopez using the Lowrider song as the intro for his TV show. Like, stop it. Stop. Cut the games. When it comes to Mexicans and when it comes to Latinos and all that, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, if we're actually going to show accurate depictions of that, it wouldn't really be a lot of dudes. Like, maybe it might be like 1 or 2 cats, but like a lot of cats was like banging Latino women. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, like how Baby Boy was, you know what I'm saying? Like all that, like it would be like some Latina chick around that somebody, you know what I'm saying, that was somebody's chick. Aside from that, it wasn't really integrated into the public or into the population all like that. And it wasn't no dude, like I said, maybe it might be like one or two dudes, like, you know what I'm saying, like cats would be smoking together, you know what I'm saying, there'd be some cool, like some people that they was cool with from school, but for the most part, it was like a Hispanic chick that somebody would be messing around with, not really like no whole bunch of dudes and shit like that. That should be like training day. Mijo. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then like even on the East Coast part, right? On the East Coast, it wasn't really like no, like, you know, like you might have like some Latinos who was like, you know, hanging with a couple cats, you know what I'm saying, like the Bronx or whatever, you know, they might have a little singing group, some Color Me Bad type shit, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it was like, you know what I'm saying, like dudes, a lot of dudes was like dealing with some Latina women. And really for real, because like in a lot of cases, either they thought the Latina was a black chick, or dudes that like light-skinned women just, you know what I'm saying, thought the chick was a light-skinned chick, and then when she opened up her mouth, she's speaking Spanish. Like that's what it was, though. It wasn't really like this coalition of male friends building anything. You know what I'm saying? It was basically like somebody getting piped. And then, you know, some individual friendships here or there. You know what I'm saying? Like you got like a situation like where you got like True Life in Saigon. Like that's more realistic. Like True Life in Saigon was like they were friends, but like I wouldn't call that no Black and Puerto Rican coalition. Like they was cool. It was like Capone and Noriega. Like they was cool. That's not like no Black and Puerto Rican coalition. You know what I'm saying? But now you got the revisionist history of the shit. Bro, look, I call it the janitor style, bro. The janitor and mechanic style. Mad, bro. They don't even know, like, that could be a whole live stream on how the Vietnam War created like massive subcultures in the United States. The Vietnam War created the khakis and the dickies and all that from the military uniform. The Vietnam War created 1% biker gangs because Harley Davidson used to have the contract with the U.S. military. You know what I'm saying? And the Hells Angels took the Hells Angel logo from the Death Squad from World War II and all that. The Vietnam era created hippies. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be a whole stream, actually a whole video series on how the Vietnam era changed mad subcultures in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like biker gangs came out of Vietnam. Because all them motherfuckers couldn't integrate back into society because they was messed up in the head. So one thing that they knew how to do was ride motorcycles. And in the military, they had learned how to put them together mechanically and shit. So them motherfuckers all got together on their motorcycle shit. And it's a whole story about how the Hells Angels created a black motorcycle gang in on the West Coast called the East Bay Dragons and shit. That's who the motherfucking Grim Bastards on Sons of Anarchy was based on. But I mean, they are actual real motorcycle club called the One Down Motorcycle Club. You know what I'm saying? But the idea of the Grim Bastards and the relationship they had with the Sons of Anarchies was based on the relationship that the car club, the East Bay Dragons, had with the Hells Angels when the Hells Angels flipped them into a motorcycle club. Because 1% motorcycle clubs don't allow black people because they're white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? But they don't talk about none of that shit. They don't talk about none of that shit, though. Now, here go my question. Where was the Mexicans? See, because it's a gang called the Mongrels, right? There's a gang called the Mongrels, and it's a gang called the Banditos. And I ain't talking about the police Banditos. I'm talking about the motorcycle gang Banditos. They wear green and red. You know what I'm saying? Those gangs were created because white people weren't allowing them to join their gangs. Now, this gang called the Mongrels, that's who the Mayans is based on from Sons of Anarchy. And they literally have open air shootouts on the West Coast or at Sturgis with the Hells Angels, and that shit don't get reported on the news. Like, they literally will go ham in a parking lot, and that shit don't get reported on the news. Now, it was this recent incident that had took place where some Hells Angels had attacked this black kid, and they got in trouble for it. But in most cases, when the motorcycle gangs mess with you or do something to you, that shit, don't nobody do nothing about it. Like, you just if you somehow get into a beef with a 1% motorcycle club, your best bet is to leave the country. And you can't even leave the country because they got chapters in other countries. So if you get in a beef with one of them big 5 motorcycle clubs, ain't nowhere you can go except for the motherfucking Antarctica. Anywhere else you go, or to Africa, because they don't, you know what I'm saying, they don't fuck with black people. So it definitely ain't gonna be no 1%ers in Africa. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's some 1%ers in South Africa, though. With all them racist ass white people, them Boers, I wouldn't be surprised if they got Hells Angels and all them over there. But anywhere else, yeah, they're all over the place. And they let them do whatever they want to. The feds, and half the time the police and the feds are members. So they for real, just let them do whatever they want to. Oh, bro, listen, I already know, bro. We got motorcycle culture is deep in Ohio. I know about all that shit, bro. I know about all that shit. I believe it. It's wild. But now the interesting thing is that the Banditos, you know what I'm saying, and the Mongrels, the Mexican biker gangs that are 1%ers, they work with these motherfuckers right here. They work with the cartels. And they linked in with the prison gangs. And so my thing is to bring all that shit back full circle, to connect it. They're always working with each other, and they're always blocking everybody else out. And the We Are the World generation doesn't want to take credit for that. Now they want to, that generation of people wants to go around criticizing everybody else like we messed everything up. We didn't make We Are the World. Our generation didn't make the Rainbow Coalition. We didn't do all that. We wasn't a generation, our generation right here, right now, us, anybody that's like between, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody that's like between like 20 and 50, we weren't the people that was going around saying anybody that's not white is black. We didn't do that. That was our parents and our grandparents' generation. A lot of the people who are now trying to point fingers at us and tell us what to do. Nah, I'm straight. We already seen how y'all mess shit up. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Alonda. Alonda said, Rob, a few years ago on your Surviving the Suburbs live stream, you discussed how the Hells Angels and other biker gangs are clicked in with law enforcement. Facts, they are. And then when law enforcement, if they have a beef or they start messing up with law enforcement, law enforcement is scared of them. If you have a white biker club that's a 1% biker club in your area that you live in, they have more power than the police. I'm just keeping it a buck. If you stay in an area where it's some outlaws that live out there, or you know what I'm saying, like it's some Sons of Silence that live out there, or it's some Hells Angels that live out there, they have more power than the police. And 9 times out of 10, the police is probably related to somebody that's in the club. If I'm not trying to be funny, but if you know bike culture, you know what I'm saying? If you know bike culture, or you be around areas where there are bikers at, and you know a little bit about like tattoos and shit like that, you know people that have bodies on them that never went to jail, that are just walking around in public like it's all good. I'm gonna just put it like that. If you see certain tattoos on certain people, they have done something and not been prosecuted for it. And they're not going to get prosecuted for it. Like, it's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And if you talk to like law enforcement, or if you talk to the media, oh, this is just myth, this is urban legend, this is not true. Nah, it is true. It is true. It absolutely is true. You know what I'm saying? That's just like that. Like, as much as they try to act like street level crime, when it comes to like street level crime, Bloods and Crips, they don't have Interpol involved in that shit. Like, when it comes to Big Five motorcycle clubs, Interpol is involved in that shit. Oh yeah. So, and y'all know what that 1% means, right? Who know what that 1% means? And that 1% is always inside of a diamond. Who know what that 1% means? Back in the day, when motorcycling used to be taboo, the American Motorcycle Club came out with a statement, and they said that out of all the motorcycle clubs, only 1% of them commit criminal violence. So the ones that actually do commit criminal violence took that statement and turned it into an emblem to set themselves apart. So they call themselves 1%ers. That's a statement that came from the American Motorcycle Club, I think, like either in the 60s or the 70s. You know what I'm saying? And then they got the rankings, they got the Big Fives and all that, and then they got these little satellite clubs you might not even know they associated with some of these other clubs. Like, it's just there's a lot that's really dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be funny, but like, that's some of the dangerous shit that like people don't really make a lot of like, nobody really talks about that I've seen like on YouTube, but that's like some actual dangerous shit. Oh yeah, bro. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, I know a lot of cats like that, and I'm into motorcycles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I converse with and chop it up with a lot of cats like that. They'll be some of the coolest people in the world. You ain't gonna become a Hell's Angel though. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you would want to or anything, but they got the bylaws like that shit ain't happening, man. Them old school motherfuckers that look like Duck Dynasty, they ain't having it. A lot of them motherfuckers that's Hell's Angels, bro, they got mixed kids, mixed nephews, mixed sons, mixed daughters, black cousins and shit. Nah, they ain't getting in. Now, if you mess with the people in their family, you know what I'm saying, you got to deal with the whole club, but you ain't getting in. You know what I'm saying? which is wild. But it is what it is. The people was crazy. Them motherfuckers literally crazy. You know what I'm saying? So now, anyway, after that, hellacious, and on top of it, bro, you know they had it was actual Hell's Angels on the show. Mike Vito is a Hell's Angel. Happy was a Hell's Angel, and one named Quinn is a Hell's Angel. Now, I'm just, and that's that. I'm gonna just leave that there. I ain't even about to say nothing else. But yeah, them three are actual Hell's Angels. It was a dude on there. The black, not Michael Beach, because Michael Beach used to play the president of the One Down One Down MC. No, I mean not the One Down MC. He used to be the president of the Grim Bastards. But it's another character on there that used to be the sergeant of arms that they show that would be with Michael Beach. That dude in reality is the black dude is the president of the One Down Motorcycle Club. But yeah, Happy Quinn and Michael Vito, they're actual Hell's Angels. What's that dude name that made that show? He made Sons of Anarchy, he made Mayans, and he made some other show. What was that motherfucking name? He was actually on the show, the producer. He was a Sons of Anarchy. He was a Son of Anarchy named Otto that got his eye poked out in prison. In the shows that he makes, he uses actual criminals and gang members. Like they had this gang called the Niners that was in that show, The Shield, and they was on Sons of Anarchy. Them motherfuckers are actually gang members. You know what I'm saying? Like when it come to his shows, I forgot what that motherfucking name is, man. But he married to that lady that played Peg Bundy, that was married to Clay Morrow in the show. I forget what is her motherfucking name. But yeah, they be using real actual like grimy people. Like the white people that they get is grimy. The black people that they get is grimy. The Latinos that they get, I don't know how they do like the shows without having a shootout on the set, for real, with them shows he be making. Yeah, that's his name. Good look, bro. Kurt Sutter. I couldn't think of what his name was. Kurt Sutter. Any show with Kurt Sutter in it, there's actual grimy people in the show as like extras and actors. Usually motherfuckers from California, like some grimy ass West Coast motherfuckers, some grimy West Coast white people, some grimy West Coast black people, some grimy West Coast Latinos. That nigga Kurt Sutter actually goes and gets the grimy people. See, shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? That like, and I'm not trying to be funny, but like with a lot of those shows, that's why like they actually do that shit so that a lot of them people don't get in trouble. That's why they made up Charming California as a fake ass city. You know what I'm saying? Cause like that, cause I'm telling you, the whole that a lot of that is based on actual events. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know to know. You know what I'm saying? You got to actually know to know. But a lot of that shit was based on some like most of those episodes was based on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, for example, when the division heard about the rainbow-colored fentanyl pills in Southern California in 2022, agents found them in Colorado within 24 hours. So they're just moving these drugs all over the place. Agents said local dealers and the cartels are motivated by the financial gain. With respect to the price per fentanyl pill, at the retail level, we were talking dollars, but at the hotel level, see, mine's still on prostitution. At the wholesale level, we're talking cents. Olsky said, this is not $1 million business. It's $1 million empire. See, so these people are getting paid. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to like bring in crypto. You know what I'm saying? But imagine all of the money that they collect and imagine all the money that they don't know about that's stored in cryptocurrency, like that they use to transact the drug transactions with crypto. Because believe it or not, I don't know if people know about this, but Bitcoin used to be what people bought shady shit with. As much as people try to like beat their chest and clown cryptocurrency and like make fun of it and talk about how it's nerd shit, man, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin especially, used to be the currency of the dark web. Bitcoin used to be the fiat currency of the dark web. I guarantee you, there's been some extremely shady shit purchased with Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says money and laundering. Fentanyl, used legitimately as a medical anesthetic, is a synthetic opioid that has become a dominant player in the illicit market and increasingly being mixed into other substances. It's cheaper and produces a more fleeting high, according to experts, but its potency in small quantities makes it unlike any other substance that preceded it in the drug supply. Precursor chemicals for the creation of synthetic fentanyl come from China, according to the agency. Ingredients are often shipped to Mexico, where the pills are then created in the makeshift laboratories and then shipped up north to the United States. Now, here's my question. How come we never hear any of the news reports? None of the news reports ever talk about the precursor chemicals of fentanyl that are manufactured in China. It sounds to me like the Chinese and the Mexicans might have some type of agenda going on as far as different strategies to nullify the quote unquote American threat. Would you guys, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. And now they got all these Chinese people coming over there to the Mexican border. You don't think them Chinese people coming to the United States to possibly set up quick labs to make these precursor chemicals to have them closer to the cartels? Because none of them Chinese people that came to the United States are slouches. You know what I'm saying? They all business owners, you know what I'm saying? College graduates. Those are the type of people that work in them, like that do that shady shit. You can't be no street level dummy and put together precursor chemicals in a lab. You got to know how to mix all the elixirs, and you know what I'm saying? You got to know how to mix all the catalysts and keep the shit at the right temperatures and all that. You got to have some type of experience in chemistry or some type of experience in pharmacology or something like that. You can't just be some dummy. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says this provisional method of production leads to an ever-changing potency of each batch, the agency said. Laboratory testing by the DEA found that 7 out of 10 fentanyl pills seized contained a lethal dose. They often come disguised as blue M30 oxycodone pills. Fentanyl has affected every demographic. It's affected every walk of life. Everyone knows someone who has died from fentanyl, Roman said. Last year, 522 people died from drug overdoses in Denver alone, the most since tracking began in 1923, according to the city's medical examiner. And while final numbers for overdose deaths statewide won't be available until this summer, the Colorado Department of Health and Environment recorded 1,454 total drug overdose deaths among Colorado residents from 2023 thus far. Consider this. A kilogram can generate 500,000 pills of fentanyl, which is sold for around $8,000 in Mexico. The cost of manufacturing a pill can be as little as 2 cents. So now you're talking about profit. You talking about pure profits. You know what I'm saying? You talking about pure profits. And then you know exactly what they're about to do. They're going to take this money and then they're going to flip this money into legitimate businesses. They're going to take this money and flip it into legitimate businesses. Now, if the fentanyl crisis was only hurting black people, they wouldn't even care about this shit. But because the fentanyl crisis has really kind of settled and just, caused so many issues with white people, that's why we got to take extra care of it. We got to put extra eyes on it. Got to put extra money into it. Man, but if the fentanyl crisis was taking black people out, man, they wouldn't care about none of this shit. Matter of fact, they'd encourage more migrants to come over and cook this shit up. And they'd probably give them government subsidies to build the labs right inside the YMCA building in the middle of the city. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate y'all. If you guys haven't taken a moment to smash the like button yet, please take a moment, smash the like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, take a moment and hit the bell. And also, if you haven't shared the stream, please take a moment and share the stream to your social media, wherever you're watching from. So now here says the wholesale price in Colorado now sits around $1, meaning that an $8,000 investment can lead to hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit. The only thing that you can invest in and get return like that is cryptocurrency and fentanyl. The only thing that you can get investment that sound like that is cryptocurrency or drugs. Is that look, a wholesale price in Colorado now sits around $1, meaning that an $8,000 investment can lead to hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit. The only other thing that you can invest in and get return like that is crypto. Crypto gets you that fentanyl type return. Would y'all agree? If y'all agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. The smaller dealers then sell the pills for $5 to $10 in Colorado, offering yet another significant profit margin to people at the tail end of the distribution chain. In some states, like Montana, according to the agency, a single pill can sell for around $60, a major incentive for drug operations to begin spreading westward. And that's probably because they be having a drought up there. So you know how the economy go. If there's a drought, then what that means is that there's a supply shortage. And if there's a supply shortage, then that turns into a demand increase. And if there's a demand increase, then what happens to the price? If there's a demand increase, then what happens to the price? You know what I'm saying? Alongside the profit, the reason the drug has become so popular among both dealers and users is the lack of stigma around the drug itself, Rowan noted. So now, as you guys see, that right there is one of the reasons why they're trying to create a stigma around it, to try to discourage the people that they care about from, you know what I'm saying, taking these drugs and deleting themselves. You know what I'm saying? Fentanyl comes in pill form compared to needles and pipes. It's akin to the vitamins people take every day, according to Rowan. Along with the ease of use, the drug does not require land or sun to create, unlike the growing process of cocaine or heroin. Okay, so now they're talking about money brokers. Through direct traffickers from the cartel, though direct traffickers from the cartel remain a priority for the agency, authorities are targeting money launderers that help facilitate the illicit trade as well. So now let me ask you guys this question. When it comes to this type of situation, who are the money launderers that are helping these people hide their money? You got people like Jimmy McGinnis. You know what I'm saying? You got your Jimmy McGinnises of the world. Y'all know who Jimmy McGinnis is? Who is Jimmy McGinnis? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says money launderers are just as culpable for the fentanyl poisonings and overdose impacting our nation as those physically handling the drugs. Oleski said, "We are focusing on going after the cartel's money. It's the only thing that they care about." It's arguable that that's the only thing that anybody cares about. You know what I'm saying? The cartel ain't the only one that care about the money. They care about getting the cartel's money. You know what I'm saying? Oleski detailed the way that the cartel money laundering works, using various methods and applications, such as the first one they got listed, cryptocurrency, and money apps like Vimeo and Cash App. Now, check this out, right? Let's just check this out. So imagine they said that $8,000 investment, right? So imagine if the cartel did this. They invested that $8,000 and they made $500,000. And imagine if they took that $500,000 and to launder it, they bought Bitcoin on a dip. Could you imagine how much money they made? Could you imagine using fentanyl profits to buy Bitcoin on the dip? I definitely can. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine that. I got a pretty good imagination. I can imagine that. You know what I'm saying? The most significant and common laundering practice, though, involves transferring money through purchased goods from the U.S., like clothing and electronics, which are then shipped to Mexico in plain sight, with the money then moving between front-facing businesses and making the transaction less suspicious. For example, Oleski points to the cartel's operations with Chinese organized crime groups like the triads that we're all of a sudden talking about, that they've been talking about in movies for the last 20, 30 years, laundering money through Los Angeles' garment district. How many people have seen the recent Fox News reports about the Chinese criminal organization, quote unquote, the triads? Here's a better question for you. How many people have seen a Rush Hour movie? Literally any Hollywood movie involving any Asian criminals, in most cases, the organization either is the triads in the movie or it's an organization based on the triads. Like they've been around forever, literally depicted in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But like all of a sudden now it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So now here says these middle money brokers, according to Oleski, usually make around 3 to 5% of the profit from moving money through fronted businesses and getting the funds back into the hands of the cartel without direct handoffs. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Over 63 billion was sent to Mexico from abroad by immigrant workers in the United States in 2023. I'm going to let that sit right there. I'm going to let that sit right there. How that happen, y'all? Now, if I'm not mistaken, the cartel criminal organizations in Mexico make up they're like the 5th largest contributor to Mexico's GDP. Do you think Mexico is really going to do much to stop these organizations? What's Mexico really gonna do as far as the cartel goes when the cartel is such a integral part of the Mexican economy? What are they really gonna do? Yeah, if you guys agree with Deformed Pretty Boy, facts. I agree 100%. Not a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And they do. Yeah, they definitely launder through Western Union. But Mexico ain't about to do a damn thing. That's a huge part of their economy. Now look what they got the immigrants doing. Look at this. Over 63 billion was sent to Mexico from abroad by immigrant workers in the United States in 2023, according to Banxico, Mexico's central bank. While there is no solid estimate on the percentage of these funds attributed to illegal activities, Oleski said, with the Mexican drug cartels overseeing a multi-billion-dollar drug trade, it's not insignificant. Let me ask you guys this question. You know how they measure commodities market caps? Like we just figured out that Bitcoin has surpassed silver as the 9th largest commodity market cap in the world. My question for you guys is, what do you think that what market cap do you all think the different drugs occupy? Do you guys think that they even measure the financial value of circulating drugs and how much market value they have? I think that would be something very interesting to take a measurement of. Don't you guys? I think that would be something very interesting to take measurements of. Yeah, I gotta agree. Big facts. Shout out to Deformed Pretty Boy again. I agree. They are sending that money back and building their countries up. Fact. That's one of the reasons why it's such a huge contributor to the GDP. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, facts. That's how they knew the 50 pounds of meth was worth 2 million. Facts. And again, so like, you know, we've been talking about micro strategies, you know what I'm saying, and you know, their strategy for buying Bitcoin and all that on the other channels. But like even here, right, in the Undocumented Bros, look at all of this money being thrown around. Look at all of these billions of dollars being thrown around, all these billions of dollars circulating. Here's my question. Whether it comes to criminal enterprise or whether it comes to legitimate business, where is this volume of money circulating amongst us? That's my question for y'all. That's my question. That's important. We need to start getting this volume of money circulating amongst us. When you get this volume of money circulating, that's when you really don't really need to be too worried about politicians. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree that once you get to the level of getting this kind of money circulating amongst us, you kind of don't really need to be too worried about politicians. So now here they saying greed is a downfall. However sophisticated the cartel's operations are, authorities said that they can rely on one consistent thing to help them, and that's greed. Greed is what got them in this industry, Oleski said. It will be their downfall. Through the work of the undercover agents and the DEA operations, RMFD seized 425 kilograms of fentanyl. All right, now somebody do me a favor. Can somebody Google the value of 425.60 grams of kilograms of fentanyl. If somebody kilograms, kgs, 425.6 kgs of fentanyl, the cash value of that, and let us know in the comment section. Or approximately 2.61 million pills in Colorado in 2023, according to a press release. Across 4 states of Colorado, Utah, Montana, and Wyoming, the division seized 565,200 fentanyl pills in 2021, 1.9 million pills in 2022, and 3.4 million in 2023. These translate into astronomical amounts of money. And I agree 100% with Win, Lose, or Rug. Win, Lose, or Rug said agreed, but the whites allowed them to do this. And when we did, the government tore us apart. Facts. And honestly, we never did this because there's no possible way that Black Americans can have a international, quote unquote, Black American crime ring because we don't have a country other than the United States. Like, we're actually in our host country and we don't have a host country overseas. You got these people over here who are immigrants here who also are drawing on the resources of their host country. We don't have the ability to do that because that's not how it works for us. We don't have we are in our host country. And we don't have an origin. Our host country is our origin country. You know what I'm saying? These people have they have like a multinational crime network. Like, this is wild. But you know what's crazy though? When it comes to Fox News, when it comes to New York Post, when it comes to Wall Street Journal, when it comes to all this stuff, you never see any of these people on the front page. Why you guys think that is? We always got to ask that question. Why you think that is? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the undercover operation on Thursday, which seized over 50,000 pills, is an important but still developing part of the battle, the agency said. We're not going to arrest our way out of it, but there are people benefiting off the lives of others, Oleski said. The operation began with a tip from a source that someone in the area had, quote unquote, hundreds of thousands of pills, Fryer said. So now here go my question. Who said that? Somebody's girlfriend got mad at him and called. Somebody's girlfriend got mad at him and called. A lot of times when these when there's these big drug busts, what end up happening is the person who was who had all the trap, they got caught messing around with some other chick or something like that, and they baby mama, their girlfriend got mad, and they picked up the phone and called the DEA, messed up the whole operation. That shit happens all the time. I'm dead serious. A lot of times when you be getting those, like the law enforcement get them tips out of nowhere, it's an angry significant other, or like it's an angry baby mom, or it's an angry side chick. Real talk. Woo! Shout out to With the Band over on Twitch. Over 220 pounds of suspected uncontrolled substance seized November 6th, 2023. The street value is believed to be upwards of $8 million. U.S. Justice Department. Imagine using that $8 million to buy Bitcoin on a dip. Anytime we come with these amounts, what comes next is imagine using that to buy Bitcoin on the dip. Or imagine using that to stake Ethereum. Man, listen. What TD Jake say? I would. I would. An undercover agent then contacted the dealer and purchased a small amount of drugs. During the smaller transaction, the dealer noted that they had significantly more. The transactions between the dealer and the agent went on a few times, helping build rapport between the two sides. And I'm not trying to be funny, but that's why you shouldn't really, if you're doing this kind of thing, you should never build rapport. You should never build rapport. Honestly, you shouldn't even have a human interaction with the person. You have to make it seem like you're really there for the product. The way you do it is approach it in a respectful manner. An unidentified undercover agent with the RMFD said. These guys are motivated by money. You build the rapport and confidence, and once they see the money coming through, it's a straight shot to moving forward, they added. During the bust on Thursday, Fryer said a large amount of drugs was ordered. The task force already had an arrest and search warrant, which led to a search of the residence for any information about the operation and supplier. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, if you're somebody that always buys dimes, if you go to the drug dealer and you're like, I need a dime, I need a dime, I need a dime, I need a dime, and all of a sudden you like, yo, I need a kilo, man, you are undercover, bro. The fuck? You all of a sudden need a kilo? What the fuck you need a kilo for? I don't understand how like these people don't ever be recognizing this shit. So this whole entire time, I need a dime, I need a twomp, I need a dime, I need a twomp, I need a dime, I need a twomp. Now I need an ounce. The fuck you need an ounce for? See, I'm not trying to be funny, but if some motherfucker came at me like that and I was doing that kind of shit, I'm like, man, I don't sell ounces, and I don't sell ounces. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, and come here real quick. you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Come here. Who you getting that ounce for? Oh, you know, I'm having a party. Nah, you ain't having no party, motherfucker. Who you getting that ounce for? You know what I'm saying? You've been buying for, you know what I'm saying, for 6 months, and the only shit you ever get is enough for 2 or 3, you know what I'm saying, blunts or whatever. And now you need a whole ounce because you having a quote unquote party. The motherfuckers that's coming to the party ain't bringing their own smoke. You supplying it all? Nah, bruh. You trying to get me caught up. Listen, man, I don't understand how they don't be picking up on none of that. I lose my number. Lose my number, lose my address. Matter of fact, don't even come back to this city anymore. Don't ever call my phone again. And then I'm about to go back to the spot and be like, yo, man, which one of y'all said that he was cool? Come here, man. Let me come holler at you real quick. Let me holler at you real quick, man. Now I gotta see if this motherfucker's working with somebody too. Now I gotta go back and think, how did this individual get into my customer base? Because I gotta backtrack all of the ways that this person came into making transactions and clean all of that shit up. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, broadly speaking, a suspect may become an informant for the agency depending on the crimes and willingness to speak, Fryer added, helping fuel operations targeting the bigger fish. These operations can take weeks to years, serving as a stepping stone in the larger battle against local dealers and Mexican cartels. Which battle is it? Because the local dealers ain't making nowhere near what the Mexican cartels are. From what I see, it doesn't look great. The undercover agent said of the fentanyl trade in Denver Metro, in my experience, there's a lot of overdoses, like 4 to 6 a day. That's not really out there in the public. The way it affects the families and friends is pretty bad. And again, we got to highlight, you know what I'm saying, that migrants bring a lot of that money back to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So that's wild, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on. A lot that the news ain't talking about. But we're going to always talk about it here on Undocumented. So that's why we need to get this channel to 500 subs. So smash that like button, hit that bell, share the stream out. Shout out to my man, Deformed Pretty Boy. I appreciate it. Shout out to everyone who contributed on Cash App. I think it was Kirk, Pamela X, and shout out to Cyberdean 100. I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get there. We're going to do another live stream tomorrow. So make sure that you tapped in. Got some other content on the other channels coming. So, you know, I'll probably see y'all there. If you're not part of the Discord, please join the Discord. It's extremely important. Hit that link that's in the comment section. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay gang. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,